How about that then, guys? Made it. Just almost on time. Anyway, welcome. Hello. Good evening. Good afternoon. And it's not goodbye yet, so I'll bring in the usual. I don't want him sitting out there feeling
No, I get
sorry,
lonely out here.
sorry for himself. So the one and only Mr. Andy H. So
Morning to you all.
yeah,
Oh no, afternoon. Beg your pardon.
things are not going to be quite as advertised because my lad, he's broken his toy. So
I know I'm heartbroken.
yeah. So unfortunately, you've got 2 hours of me, an hour and a bit lunchtime here, and an hour and a bit this evening. So we're not going to let you down. It's still going to be mushrooms, but I should be doing probably 4 instead of 2, and Andy doing 2. He's going to do his 2 another time when he's live, when he's got his toy fixed. But he can probably tell you more about it than what I can. All I know is it doesn't work. So
It just died on me when I was trying to use it,
yeah. So
and
without
stopped and won't start again. So.
right,
But Axminster are coming at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it only died at 10 o'clock this morning. So they're coming at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I'm very impressed. So we'll see what they can do.
right, I'll put some glasses on. Take you lot for a spin because I'm using one camera only because it's so much easier today. So we're going around the world and just got to find it. It's down here somewhere.
Just there. There it is. Do you want to take me off again?
Yeah, I can't see because I've got too big a screen, too small a screen. Right, there it is. So that's the offending piece of wood. You're looking at it as I'm looking at it. So I'm standing here and the camera is just below eye height as I look at it. So you should be, and it's my side of the wood, it's front of the wood. So you should get a good indication as to how I'm working. I know you guys really appreciate the angles we get to and show you what we can and explain as we go along how we do it and why we do it and show you how we do it. So I should be using this baby, 5/8 bar 1/2 inch bowl gouge. The only reason I'm using this is because there's a knot, or it's a branch, X branch, and this is a bit of 3.5 inch use. So rather than hitting this with the spindle roughing gouge, which I would normally use, I'm going to use a big beefy bowl gouge. So without further ado, I'm going to fire up the beast.
And I'll tell you who's in.
Extractor, and my boy's going to read out the instructions as to who's in. So here we go, guys.
Okay, the participants list is well down on the numbers it shows who are watching, so I'll go down the other list, which is a bit more difficult, but we'll get there. So Darren Callison, here very early, swiftly followed by me. Richard Felon, swiftly followed by Keith. Pete Twisted Trees. Doug Miller. Gav Sidai Woodwork. Richard Felon. Chris Dodds. Malcolm Douglas. Did I say you already? I can't remember. Oh no, I didn't. No.
Don't think so.
No. Bob Nye. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
Same names coming up time after time. Lawrence. Yeah, I said Lawrence. Yeah. Sid's repurposing. Hello, Sid. Robbo Robertson. Good day, Robbo.
Hi, Robbo.
It could be dust in the switch. I'm not quite sure until he comes, but he's coming to fix it. So, Paul Heighton, the Greasby Turner. Good afternoon, Paul. Talk amongst yourselves. Jonathan Flynn. Thank you for your email, Jonathan, that you sent to Keith. It's very nice to receive. Thank you very much.
Well, it was part of the Facebook chat, which I
Facebook chat.
Andy, yeah.
Jay's Cabin. Like to acknowledge things that are nice. David J. Heath, the Guildford Carpenter. And that's about it, I think. And if I've missed anybody, give me a shout, but I don't think I have. So over to you, Keith.
Welcome, one and all. I suppose I could give you a few dimensions on this. I've said it's just over 3 inches diameter. It's actually 9 inches hanging out the chuck, so a little bit more than what I would generally have overhang, but I'm feeling quite confident I can get the tool rest reasonably close, and that's one of the reasons I'm using the bowl gouge. I'm pushing away from myself on a shear cut, so the wood is coming down onto the nose and it is cutting. Just need to pick up the knot. You can just see it picking up the curl there. So it's firing it away from me.
Robert Dolman is in.
That's how easy it cuts on this style of cut. I think this is one of the cuts that Robbo was talking about on Saturday in his tutorials.
I missed the Saturday one, yeah.
There's no weight against the wood. The wood is doing the work with the chisel being underneath. Handle's really low. It's just past 45 degrees to the wood. I have a double grind on the chisel, one at 45 degrees, which is the main bevel, and the second one at half that to relieve the sharp heel that you get.
Robbo says I was. So
yeah, it was on in the background, Robbo, and I didn't want to distract your customers from what you were showing them, telling them, asking them. But you and I think, both teach with the same sort of style. So what's the picture like, guys? Can you see what I'm doing?
Yep, certainly can.
Good.
Looks good to me.
Okay, so nice flowing cut to go round the head and finish, and I'm hoping, I can't really see what I'm doing, I'm in darkness just there. Didn't quite take the pip off, but I got below it, but that's good enough, that will sand off. Now change hands and fire it the other way. And I'm going to creep up on the head. I don't want to start straight away where I intend to be. Back of the bevel pointing in line with the cut. As I'm trying to save the natural edge, I want to leave and take small cuts. Once I'm in there and the bevel's sitting on there, I can take my hand away basically, because all I'm doing is holding it down. Now we can clear out some of the garbage underneath there to define more the shape. Nearer the chuck, I can take slightly bigger cuts as well. And this is all being done with a bowl gouge at the moment. It's no good. I'm going to have to light the candle up. I can't see.
Oh, thank you.
Did I get one then?
Keith said, didn't he get one then?
Should be able to turn this down, but I don't want that. It's not that one.
It's not
Right.
bleaching out or anything. It's not looking
Isn't
bad.
it?
No.
Okay, it looks. That's better. I can tone it down a bit and get it a
Yeah, no,
little
that's fine. It's
further
fine.
away.
Absolutely fine.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Now swap over to a spindle gouge. He said, "There it is."
Clive Rogerson is in.
I got a little bit more control on the spindle gouge.
And Nick Castle.
Hello, Nick.
Sneaked in while Ellison was bringing me my coffee.
Okay. Right. That's about as far as I can get for a minute. Now, I have, for quite some time, been using a scraper. Turn that off. I can show you.
That was my phone telling me that you're turning.
Jolly good.
Yeah, it's nice to know.
It's an old 1/4 inch mortise chisel. So, let's put a bit of. Is that better? I'm standing so close,
Yeah,
I can't see it.
I can see it. Yeah, yeah.
Right. I've got a straight edge on there, and I've got a slight radius on this side. And they both cut at about 45 degrees to the top, and I've relieved the heel. It's not the clearest of pictures, but that's
With
what we've got.
with your description, I think it shows
It
up. Yeah,
works quite well, does it?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Terry Hooper's in, by the way. Sorry to be
Hi,
late.
Terry.
Looking finished already, he says.
No, there's a lot of work to do yet. Just
And this is only the first one.
Yeah, just bring the tool rest up a fraction. We want to be scraping at centre, which I am there. So I'm
Greg Alexander's in. Sorry.
Right, I'm engaging the straight edge and the tip, and just gently stroking it. Okay, cramp in the fingers. Now, if it squeals, you either turn the volume down your end,
Or grit your teeth. Yep.
Can't do much about it. I don't intend to go too deep. So that's a 1/2 inch recess at the moment. Let's get rid of some more of this meat up the shaft. Make the stem a bit thinner. Now, everyone does their mushrooms differently. I can't say there's a correct way or an incorrect way. Tool rest is a bit high, but I should be going back in with a scraper in a minute. So I don't want to spend an hour moving it up and down. Right, that's tucked a nice little rough up the back there. You can't see in there.
No, can't see in there. No.
Okay. Let me think.
Robbo says, "What? You didn't spend $60 on a mushroom tool from Sorby?"
No.
LOL.
You're right.
LOL.
You're right, Robbo. I didn't.
Yeah, correct. You got it in one. Yeah.
Okay, let's go down the cameras. That one does.
And as Darren says, in nature, every mushroom is different.
Yeah. And this is nature at its best.
Yep.
Right, I think that's That one, that's the one I'm after. Right. You can sort of see
Yes, it's sort of standing on your head, but it's all
up
right.
the
We can
cap.
see it.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. That's fine. Oh, hello. Yes, just about. Will it go any lower or
No,
not? No.
no,
Okay.
no.
We
This
can.
is
We
on a
can.
fixed head one, fixed height one.
All right. We can just about. Oh, that's better. Yep. We can see at least as far as you've got,
Yeah,
and a little bit further, possibly.
that's it. Right. Without this
Robbo says.
in the
Robbo says
chuck,
neither did I. He didn't buy one of those tools either.
no,
So
I think they're a good money waster.
yeah.
Right. Oh, it's not too bad. I'm on main screen now. Right. So one wing at a time I'm using. If I was to go in and try and cut with both wings as a plunge
Bang.
cut, we would end up with a lot of noise and possibly me running for cover.
That's a good angle, but Keith, we can see what you're doing there
Good.
completely.
I think
Yeah.
you can possibly see as much as I can.
Good. There's a good chance, I should think. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not as deafening for you guys.
Fairly.
Good. I didn't want to share it to just myself. uh, bevel rubbing. I'm cutting well above centre. About the bevel's rubbing, I'm cutting about 2 o'clock on the clock face on the side wing just there. So I'm pushing the shaving down. Now I can come round and take it off on the left hand wing. Can you see that?
Yep.
Just about, I think.
Yep. See that.
Yes, this is a 3/8. No, it isn't. It's a 1/2 inch spindle gouge with a fairly long grind on it, but it works for me. And I think that's what Robbo was trying to say on Saturday. You find a grind that works for you, not 2 people, 3 people can
Yeah.
use the same tools until you're proficient in using the tools. Then you can go and pick up more or less any tool and make it work.
Adapt to it. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, providing it's sharp. And I've used tools all my life, not necessarily wood cutting tools, but I've used tools, I've sharpened tools, so I'm quite adept at making the best out of a bad situation at times.
Woodworm Paul is in.
Hello, one and all. Some of the reason that's squealing because I'm at the limit. I'm 3 inches away from the end to the tool rest. So I'm asking quite a lot, but that's me. Right. I'm happy with underneath. I'm happy with the head. I think before I weaken that stem anymore, I'm actually going to get a bit of paper on that.
Tom Copus is in. Talk of the Devil.
Tom. Yeah. I should be touching base with you somewhere, Tom. to carry on a conversation that we did start some time ago, but summer holidays and work and everything else got in the way. To ask you if you'd come around and do me a favour, Tom, when you're free-ish, and set up my StreamYard for me, please.
Stream Deck.
Stream Deck. Because my earworms had a go, but
I failed.
Given up. So there's a little bit of movement in this. It is bouncing a bit, but I shan't say anything about that. It was bone dry wood. The ewe had been down biggest part of 10 years. So it's just the natural stresses and strains in the wood. Again, you keep seeing me change from one side to the other. I've got a bit of 80 grit folded in half. I can feel when the heat's building up. Just put a line in there. I'm not quite sure whether that is a tool line or a bit of growth in the wood, but we can soon find out. We have ways of doing that.
Tom says, good to see you all. And yes, Keith, we'll definitely get that done. We'll send you a message.
Thanks, Tom. I can more or less fit in with you. Don't know how tied up you are. I know Christmas is a bad time for you. Hope you did well on your exams as well. I've got a little bit just there, right on that knot, that I need to try and sand out.
For those of you who weren't in at the beginning, Keith is doing the turning today because I've been bereaved. My lathe has died. It's very, very sad. But Axminster are coming out at 8 o'clock in the morning to fix it. It only went wrong at 10 o'clock this morning, so I'm quite impressed with that. At least they're coming to look at it and see if they can fix it. So very good service. I'll say that for them.
And that'll be a first, because Andy doesn't normally get up until 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So Keith's doing all the turning today, this morning, or this afternoon, and this evening.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm not able to.
Right, so let's see if that's.
But he's man enough; he can cope with that.
Well, I've done many a full day down. That's better. Full day down in the workshop, so I don't suppose 2 and a bit hour sessions will do me any damage.
I'm sure you'll survive it.
Yeah.
Pete Twisted Trees talking about Stream Deck, saying that the trick for using Stream Deck and Touch Portal is to remember it's just a keyboard extension. All the real work is done in OBS scenes and sources, which we know. And I set this OBS up, and a couple of them worked, but I think it's more the camera's talking to the Stream Deck or to OBS is the problem. I'm not quite sure why. So I'll leave Tom to find that out. Yeah, it's far more clued up than I am.
Totally technical, both Andy and myself. Right, wood wax 22 straight onto cellulose sanding sealer. Don't need to let it dry. You can let it dry. I could wipe it off with a bit of paper, but I'm wiping it off with wax. So I'm using my tried and tested method of finishing. It works for me. And it was about many years before we had Yorkshire.
I was just waiting for somebody to say that, Pete. He says the length some people will go to avoid cutting mushrooms. I enjoy it.
He's already practiced on one, Pete. He's got a dinky little one there.
I did one yesterday. Yeah, I'll show you at the end when I'm back on screen. I'll show you at the end. I did make one, and the photograph of that can go to Steve for the hashtag thing.
It won't be alive, but
no, but hey, I did it yesterday.
Let's work the wax in with a bit of Weebrax. Weebrax is rated at about 1600. no expense spared, a new bit of paper, and we'll lightly buff this off. Should wait for it to evaporate a bit. The cutting compounds and the evaporators they put in, not too bad, because I can buff this up when I'm finished. I'm not too worried if it's not totally taken it all off at the moment. But there's the head done.
Very nice. I was just going to say the figures all on the top, but in fact there is some down there, isn't there? That's nice. Looks like
yeah,
like somebody standing there with their arms up.
Yeah. Right, I'll stay on this camera, and I'm going to make it a little bit taller.
Yeah, it is a bit short. Not.
Well, I've got the wood, so I'm going to use it.
Absolutely, don't want to waste it.
I don't want to chuck it in the wood burner pile. Just about see, can you?
Just about, yeah. It's we're turned around 90 degrees, aren't we now? Yeah.
No, you're looking at it. Yeah, it's it should be.
It was across the. Yeah, it was that way. Yeah. But it doesn't matter too much. That's better. Yep, and then down a bit.
Hang on, I've got cables in the way.
And then to your right a bit. That's better. You can see the bit you're working on.
Yep. We try and oblige.
Rob CP is in.
Hello, Rob. So I'm actually spinning at about 350. Not massively fast. Fast enough that the wood's coming across and it's cutting. I don't see the point in cutting at 2,800, which I could do on this lathe.
So I've just seen that Robbo said Octopussy as a comment about the grain that was showing on the top bit,
Right.
and the YouTube was trying to reject it. So I've passed it. I've said to stay. Nothing offensive there.
No, it's because you said pussy.
Yeah, that's right. But I can see where Rob's coming from. So yeah, it's a genuine comment.
So with a big bowl gouge, 1/2 inch UK bowl gouge, I can control spindle cuts. So that I don't have a lot of sanding to do. I can get down a little bit further. I'm going to swap to the spindle gouge just to finish that cut off. Cut left-handed because the belly's in the way. Not all of you have got this problem.
It can be useful sometimes, though.
But I have. It's good packing anyway. Right, spin.
Ballast.
Yeah, ballast. I don't know how sharp this is likely to be. But we'll find out now.
About to find out, yes.
Sharp enough.
It's managing, isn't it?
Right. Stop that. Bit of sanding sealer. I think I'll even sand it first. Not that I need much on there.
You
go straight in.
It's optional.
Straight in with a bit of 120 on that.
Yeah.
I've got such a nice finish.
Jigs' shed is in. Hello, John.
Hi, John. this is the rough bit underneath the head. So, half an hour. I said it would be about half an hour.
Yep. Pete's normal comments coming out. Robbo's Australian, 95% of their language is suspect on YouTube. So
We can understand most of it though, Robbo.
we can indeed.
That which we can't understand, we just say, yeah, that's about right.
Well, it's easier to understand than Yorkshire. Who said that?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of that can be very suspect, can't it?
Sometimes it can, yes.
Particularly, mind you, having said that, I've had people say to me, I can't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, they say it to me, but that's because I mumble. But,
yeah, well, we're quite broad down here in Sussex. It's a
the
funny
real
dialect.
Sussex accent is great. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Right.
Gav said, "Whoa, steady on, Andy." Didn't say a thing, Gav. Nothing at all.
Is he a northerner then?
Yeah.
Right. Don't hold it against him.
Darren Callison says 99%. Struth, get it right, mate.
As long as we can have a safe laugh.
That's right, and nobody takes offence because there's no offence intended.
If you do take offence, put it back because the sheep will get out.
Yeah.
An old one, but they're good.
The old ones are the best.
Exactly the same as the head. Now, is anyone going to tell me what this is called besides a mushroom? There is a particular name. I know it's more local to us and me, but
I haven't got it on my picture. I've just checked.
no Googling it, because that's what you're all doing. Anyone that knew would put it straight up.
Looks like a shaggy ink cap, yeah.
Fun guy, trust you, John.
Chris Dodd's a wooden mushroom. Yeah. Chris Dodd's.
You always get one, but
Jigs come up with the obvious, a fun guy.
Yeah. Right.
Liberty cap.
Well, that's probably a closer one to.
That's Gav.
What we tend to call it. I'll leave it for a bit. Let you guys come up with some funnies. Find a clean piece of paper to give the head a quick buff, and you can see that's taken a shine straight away. I can, but you can't quite. I'll go back onto the first camera, the above one, which I think is that one. Yep. And you can ultra safe, turn the lathe off when you're moving the tool rest.
Of course, you wouldn't dream of doing it any other way.
I'm spinning at about 400, 350, 400.
Bailey Woodworks is in.
just about to go. There it goes.
Yeah, Bailey Woodworks, that's Chris, isn't it? I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Yep, he's in
It's got
anyway.
a little pip in the bottom. So I've not left you guys, but there's no camera down here. Let's got rid of that. I will sand the bottom a bit later on. But there we are.
Very nice.
Let me take that picture off so I can see it as well. That's better. So that is now, that stands 8.5, 8.5, and it is 3.25 at its widest diameter. Nice bit of grain. Is that a dirty camera? Or am I too close? That's better.
That's right. That looks fine.
Yeah. So I'm standing so close, even my eyes don't focus on it. So that, guys, is what down at the museum is classified as the widow's finger.
Nice comments coming out, Keith. That's a beaut. Looks great. Nice
The
work.
head is 5 inches. So yes, that's what is primarily called the widow's finger, just to add a little bit of banter. The ladies like it. Some of the gents don't always get what it's all about, but hey ho. Oh, just hoping, and it will. Right, bit of 2 1/8 square. Tighten it up. It's gripper jaws, so I've got 8 points of contact, and it got teeth on the inside, so I don't have an issue with it wanting to jump out. Go for the slightly shorter tool rest. It makes life easier for me. About there. So I don't know whether Jonathan's in. Mr. Flynn.
He was earlier. Hadn't
He was
heard from him
earlier,
since. Yeah.
but he did say he might have to catch some of this on record because he'll be driving home. So
Oh, right.
if
Yeah.
you are driving home, that's not a problem. Let's get rid of some of this. That can stay there. Find a spindle roughing gouge and get this down to round. Don't need that one. That one can stop there. Right.
So this is by special request. Yep.
Yeah, just because Andy and I were chatting and asked, how does that show up?
Yep, that's fine.
An egg. Jonathan sort of challenged Andy and I to turn an egg to show how it was done, or how we do it.
It's following up from the egg cups, wasn't it?
Yeah. So let's have a little bit more volume on that. Knock that into the round pretty sharpish. So the pointy end, it's probably got a specific name, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the pointy end. Although it doesn't have a point, it has it's a sharper end. So we can define the rough shape. After all, this is a spindle roughing gouge, so that's about all that will be doing. Just need to get this curve to follow round.
It's the prolate end.
The pointy end.
Pointed end is a prolate end of an ellipsoid or an egg. I think there's even a name for the fat end.
And that's the fat end, or the blunt end.
No, that's the pointy end is the prolate. But I can't find it.
That's not a bad shape. Now, when I was first turning an egg, I had an old turner. He was a club turner with me. And my first egg looked more like a rugby ball.
So that's the oblate end you're doing now. You've done the prolate end, you're doing the oblate.
Okay. So that's not bad.
Good old Google.
Yeah.
You can always look intelligent with that, can't you?
Well, yeah.
And Sid says, language, Andy.
It feels like I've just got a little bit of a flat on there, which I can just feel now. So we'll just tart around that. It's slightly bigger than a customary standard egg.
I think mine all tend to be slightly bigger and they're nicer to handle, I think. If they're a little bit bigger.
That's it. Just got rid of it. So when I was learning, like I say, my first one ended up two ends like that. And Tony said to me, it was a guy that had been turning a good few many years. He was an ex-carpenter before he retired. And he said, just think about it. He said, where does that egg come from? Well, I said, well, the chicken, of course. It's a chicken's egg. Okay. So just think about it. The chicken has only got one orifice. Everything comes out of one orifice. So if it's too big, walk around his pen pooing all the time. If it was too tight, he wouldn't be able to poo. So just think about it. It's got to be tapered enough that it gradually opens up its one orifice to let the egg out. And once the egg's let out, the orifice says, oh, thank God for that, and snaps shut, which is why there's a pointy end and a blunt end.
Benjamin says, have I caught Keith talking about chicken butts? but very informative, Keith. Thank you.
Well, if you sort of think about it, it's got to roll up, and most of the blunt ends are fairly tight anyway. And I thought, yeah, okay, for a carpenter, that's pretty good. And he was proud of it anyway. Whether there's, well, I don't think there's anything much in the way of truth, but it's got to be a little bit of truth in it. So any of my students coming in, they produce an egg, and I usually tell them the same story, and we have a little bit of a laugh. And they say, yeah, I suppose you're right. What do you mean, suppose I'm right?
Question from Gerard, the French turner. Keith, just a quick question, not related. Double-ended spindle gouge. What angle bevel do they have on it?
Wouldn't know, but I would imagine one is more an English grind, which would tend to be more of 30 degrees, and the other would probably be more of a fingernail grind, something similar to what this one is, and this one is 45. All my tools are 45,
Mm.
even
It's
the
the
spindle roughing gouge.
it's the most
Um,
common one, isn't it?
yeah, honestly, don't know. Um, I don't need one. I don't see the point in buying one just to find out for you guys, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be somewhere around that sort of figure. Right, so that egg is now held on by a 6mm spigot.
There's a discussion going on about chickens and their bottoms and things. It's the
Well,
orifice is called the vent. The
no,
egg's also
it isn't. It's called something else.
okay. Well, that's Darren saying that it's Australian.
Yeah,
The egg is also slightly soft when first laid. That's Terry Hooper.
yeah, it is slightly soft to help it through. Something like the chola or chokla or something.
Oh, Jonathan Flynn is back. He says that thanks. That's why eggy are a pain in the arse.
Mm.
But he's back anyway, so he's seeing you make the egg. When I've got my lathe going, Jonathan, I'll try and do a
Proper one.
session on them. Yeah. Well, not a proper one. This is a proper one, but I'll do my version of it, which
Mm.
it's slightly different. I use a
So,
jam chuck to finish off the end.
so through turning it down to a 6mm spigot, I can sand it. I can work with it. Can drop the speed right down. Give it a shot of cellulose sanding sealer. That's a bit too low. About there. And it will get finished exactly the same as anything else that I do. If I can get the tin open, that's it. Don't know why I bothered to put the lid on this. There's nothing in it,
I was going to say it's nearly gone, isn't it? Yeah.
and it's bloody hard. Bit of wax on there. Gently massage it in.
What timber was this?
This was you.
You. Oh, it's you again. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Beg your
you.
pardon.
It's
Oh, that's right. I
quite
remember you saying that. Yeah.
it's quite a deep coloured piece of you.
Terry Hooper says, "What's the problem with your lathe?" Well, it doesn't go, Terry. Basically, I was using it, turned it off. It took a long time to slow down and stop, which was a bit strange, and then wouldn't start again. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but they're coming to look at it in the morning. Good old Axminster.
Could be the electronic brake kicking in
It,
too early.
yeah, it could
Could
be
be
something
lots of
like
things.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even not kicking in at all, and that could be why it's now thrown another trip somewhere, possibly because it didn't slow down as
Oh,
rapidly
right.
as it normally does. So it could be that that's gone wrong, which has thrown another trip, another safety device somewhere. But anyway, hopefully he'll find it in the morning. There was no big bang or anything, it just
No,
stopped working. So
I know people like that as well.
I try and be one
Massaging in.
myself.
Yeah, have it in the right direction now.
God, you can get a nice finish on you, can't you?
Yeah, and I'm not
I
putting any
just
pressure on this because of
no
how it's being held.
with 6mm. Yep.
Yeah, I can push against the end, which is why you see me using the palm of my hand.
And can see it
Because the
moving
palm
as
of your
well.
hand fits round it easier. Right. Let's go catch an egg. Another tool. That one will do. I haven't got a sharp one. No, it's not sharp. Sharp enough. Right. Skew chisel. On its back. Long point. Would have helped if it had been sharpened, but we'll cut.
Does
We'll either cut through
reduces
or burn it through.
reduces sanding, doesn't it? If you can do it that way.
Yeah. So I've got very little pip on the end. And I just want to take the pip away, which I've done. And I can touch that straight up with a bit of 240. What I'll do is I'll buff this later on. But there, Jonathan, is how I produce my eggs.
Yeah, very nice.
Dust marks all over it now. So there's a small egg and there's a larger egg. Both done exactly the same way. This one's in oak, a bit of brown oak, and this one's in a bit of heart hue. So,
And Pete's making a suggestion. Yes, Pete, I have checked that the plug and fuse and socket and what have you, the speed readout is still lit, so I know there's power to it. But thanks for the suggestion.
right. Mushroom number 2. All I've done is put a tenon on the end, big enough to go in my gripper jaws. This one isn't quite as long as the last one.
So you're getting good value for money today.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to be racing this. Make sure it spins.
Nearly.
Does there. Now, spindle. I could use a spindle roughing gouge. I might well do. And actually running quite true.
It's not bad, is it?
I can see the centre hole that I made, and it's not even fluctuating. So there's someone going to be asking, what size was it? It's six and a bit out of the chuck, and the widest is 4.5, tapering down to 3 3/4.
Ben said he didn't know Axminster did call outs like that, nor did I, Ben, but when I phoned them, they were straight on top of it, and I got a call back from an engineer within half an hour. So I'm not knocking them at all. But it's too big to send the machine back, too heavy. Robbo says, what's that in metric? I can't remember what it was. How long was it?
155.
So that's 6.5, yeah. 6 1/4, yeah.
By 120 by 90. You can't catch us out, Robbo. You might try. Now, on something like this, you don't want to be turning at breakneck speed because you'd lose some of the cut. You want to be turning fast enough that it jumps over the. Let's get rid of the spindle askew. I don't want that. I'll put it down. Go back onto the bowl gouge. Now I've got that bit done.
I think Rob Copperell has crept in all the excitement. I missed him.
Okay.
Hello, Rob. Welcome.
Both spindle and bowl gouges are ground to 45, so I can pick up on the cuts as I left it off. I've got a lot more metal in this bowl gouge. Now I'm going to run off the end of the tool rest.
I think Darren Callison's trying to find questions you can't answer. He's saying, Mister, how much does that bit of timber weigh? Laugh out loud.
1 3/4 kilos.
Yeah, and prove him wrong.
Got a bounce in the top there, so just swing the tool rest a bit closer and attack it with. I can feel it. No, I'm not rubbing the bevel. I'm just floating the bevel, touching it. Still a little bit low, but.
Oh, Michelle Higgins is in.
Hi, sorry, Michelle. I've seen that name on someone else's live. Whereabouts do you hail from? It's a better cut, but I still.
Robert Delman's got to go. His family have arrived. And thanks. Bye, Robert.
Okay, Robert. Yeah. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. On your way out, can you just hit the like button for me, please? Or the don't like, whichever. I'm not too worried because whichever one you hit notifies YouTube that you've watched it, so you've obviously got some form of interest with it.
Yeah, Pete's talking to Robbo, saying in UK metric that is 120mm by 90mm by 6.5 inches.
Yeah, spot on, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely right.
So, bevel pointing in the direction of cut. I've got the flute virtually shut. It's open about 1-2 degrees, and I'm cutting on the bottom wing. Or scoring with the bottom wing. This is where ambidextrous works on its own.
It's worth practicing that, isn't it? Working with the left hand, right hand. Definitely worthwhile. Gerard had to go, get onto his load.
Now.
Right.
Thanks for stopping by, Gerard. You didn't dislike it, but yeah, I agree with you, Ben, on that one. So I can actually afford to come down a little bit tighter. That's why it was bouncing. There's a little pippy branch just where I didn't really want one. Now you can go straight in with a parting tool to create your edge. I don't. So I very gingerly take it with a spindle gouge. Now we're on solid wood. There goes the bark anyway.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a bit iffy if it's still stood there. Half-inch cuts coming off with a bowl gouge, and we're doing barely 400 revs. Don't let them tell you can't do it. Very gingerly until I'm on solid wood.
Getting noisy again.
Yeah, can't do anything about it. I'm standing quite close to it as well.
No. Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
so
probably just as well.
I'm quite happy with the width that we've got. So you've got your 90mm and your 110mm. So there's quite a lot of hit and miss all the time. And I think what I'll do is I'll go over onto the other camera, Andy, so you can watch me from the end.
Oh, from underneath. Yep. Yep.
Where are we? What number did we say? That one? Yeah.
Could be. Yes.
We'll go for that one. So, let me take that picture off screen. Oh, that's better. That's not too bad. So this is virtually in square now. That's gone straight in.
Yep.
Now I'm going to start to undercut it. So we're going to go back to the Greenfield special. For those of you that weren't here first time round, shame on you for being so late. Can you see it? Yeah. The right hand side, as you look at it, is flat. The left hand side is slightly radiused. It's taken back at 45 degrees on both sides, and the heel is run off as well. So you cut with one side or the other. You don't put it in as a V cut and hope for the best, because the best will be you end up wearing a mushroom. So pick up your cut on the right hand wing, push it forward on what is the left hand cutting piece. Two gentle scrapes, and that's 10mm undercut already. I have in the past, I don't know whether I can or try, just managed to get.
We've put Riz in and Wood Creations is in.
Hi guys.
Says good morning.
That just clears. That's why I had this one made with the wings cut off, so that I can get in a little bit tighter. Should stop some of the squeal. unbearable noise?
Only moderately. It's got to be done.
Yeah, it's not deafening me quite.
No, we can turn ours down, so that's all right.
Or you can mute me.
There is that as well.
So being a spindle blank, that cut is not the preferred or the best one for a spindle gouge. Doesn't particularly like running along the grain. It will do it, like most tools will do it. That's actually not a bad cut. Let's get in a little bit tighter. He said, just too tight. So is that. Come back a fraction. Lock that off. Okay. Let's reduce that stem a bit more. It's all working in increments, so I don't want to go too much thinner until I've sanded the head. No, I'm going to have to go in there square. What I'll do is I'll sand this off first and then attack that in a minute. So I've just got a couple of ridges just on the head of this.
Alf Key, there's a new name for the chat, I think. He's used a modified captive ring tool for undercutting mushrooms.
Right.
Sounds like a very good use for it.
Hello, Di. See, how long have you been in?
Guy's been in a while, yeah.
I see. Okay. I
Yeah, he
missed that one then.
told me off for attacking Northerners.
Okay. The big Hoover needs cleaning. It's not sucking as well as it should do.
Oh, no. Oh dear.
Probably got some long shavings down it. Gets indigestion eating them long ones. That was 120. This is 240.
Sorry, I'm getting people mixed up. Di is new into the chat. Yeah, sorry, Di. Welcome. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous.
Cool, give over. Well, there's 3 dozen of you guys out there. I appreciate you coming in. spending your time watching some idiot playing with a bit of wood that's spinning round too fast. But, it brings enjoyment. At least it's still attached to the main spinny bit, not floating around like we've seen in the past. We've all done it, but try not to do it. So,
Yes,
what's
people
that
talking
look
about
like?
problems they've had with Purple Heart.
Yeah, it's a bit
It's the only
splintery.
only timber I've ever lost off the lathe was Purple Heart. Smashed my fluorescent light above the lathe as well. It did come off quite well.
It's not my favourite wood to work with.
No, it's too splintery. It's too,
Yeah.
yeah. And splinters are lethal too if you get one in your hand. They're very sharp.
It goes septic before you have a chance to get it out if you're not careful.
Yep.
You can't see the colour at the moment, but I'm not going to move the camera just so you can see it and then go back to the inside because there's a little bit of finishing to do in there before we attack it. So that's just straightforward. Wood wax 22. See if I can get a bit more mileage out of this paper. I won't get much out of it because it's got wax on it. No, too waxy. It grabs. So for you guys that missed the front of this, Andy's not turning me because of his dead lathe. So as planned on my channel tonight, it will be me and my maggot again. So we're not giving up on you guys. We will be doing a live, but the unfortunate thing is you've got to watch me for another hour and a bit because I should be doing 2 more mushrooms. They'll be different. Not a lot, but hopefully you'll join in the chat just for the banter. Would turn in as much about the chat as what it is the actual finished product and how it's achieved at times. But we didn't want to let you guys down, so I manned up and said I'll do it. So scrape out the rubbish. Play ball. Don't mess about. So that should be quite a nice finish underneath there. It won't require a bit of 40 grit on it. So just got to attend to the stem now. And then we can see about sanding that up, waxing that off, parting it off.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Michael McEwen is in. Good morning, Michael. Or good
Hello,
afternoon.
Michael. Hopefully you guys are happy with what I'm doing. If you are, and you would like to subscribe to the channel, that is always very appreciative. And if you haven't, and you would like to hit the like button, that does let YouTube know that this is the sort of content you signed up to look for. They will advise you when either myself or someone else is doing a live. If you hit the bell by the side of the subscribe, that also gives them gives you an indication, usually within 5 or 10 minutes of it starting, if not before, that the participant has gone live.
6:15 in the morning for Michael McEwen.
Okay.
He's up early.
Fresh awake. Right. Let's have a sand on that. Get rid of that. Got a little bit of tool mark just there, which you can quite often get going down the grain. But that has now all but disappeared. Yep. Surprising how sanding in reverse to what I was turning will automatically take out the issue straight away.
As Brian Watkins has come in. He's on siesta time on Costa Blanca in Spain.
Okay, all right for some.
Yes.
All right for some, right. This is the dodgy bit. I'm holding the paper. You can just about see. Can you? Yeah.
Yep.
With my thumb, and it's locking it onto the fingers. If it does get caught, it's going to pull it straight out. I haven't got it wrapped around my fingers. It's lightweight. And the answer is to have the if you fold a paper, have the fold so that the wood is coming up to the fold. If you have it cut edge down, it can pick up. So I'm in reverse, so the fold is down. I'm sanding on the top, holding it with one hand, touching it in there with my fingers, which I'm quite happy with. I'm well clear. It's my fingers anyway, so I can almost do what I like, but I'd like to let you guys know the correct way and the incorrect way of doing it. So the fold down, holding it lightly. And for you guys that can't do it in reverse, now the fold will be up so that the wood is coming down onto the fold. I'm holding exactly the same way with my thumb up against the heel of the fingers.
Michael McEwen is from British Columbia, Canada.
Okay. Thanks, Michael.
Webfoot Resin and Wood Creations is from Oregon.
So we know we've got several Canadian Americans in there amongst their other species, but
Sacramento. Michelle Higgins is in Sacramento, California.
okay. Thank you, Michelle. Hope you like what you're seeing. And you will join us again. It's usually Andy or myself on Tuesday lunchtime, and then every other week, one of us, usually Andy, will cover for Rich the Beard, and odd Thursdays, and it is odd Thursdays when Scott the Blue Light Turner can't make it because of his shift pattern. One of us will cover that, and we have a full diary up to Christmas already.
We have. I have it in front of me.
So, but that could be changed.
Very likely to be, yeah.
It's been known before that it's been changed. But, so, whether you like it or not, guys, you've got us on for at least another 3 months, up until Christmas anyway, until we organise something else. But with other things going on, it's nice to know what you're doing when you're doing it. So I can't quite hang up behind the door like some people can, but can usually jump in at fairly close, quick proximity to the lathe. And like we say, I'm covering for Andy tonight because his lathe's gone sick. Although he's advertised, or it's advertised on my channel, I should be doing mushrooms again tonight. Each mushroom will be different. Not a lot, because a mushroom's only a mushroom.
Yes, very disappointed not to be joining in, but
yeah,
I will be earworming, so.
But we'll do a joint one on something else in the not too distant future.
Sure. And I'm down for doing next Tuesday lunchtime, aren't I? So hopefully.
No, you've got the program. I haven't.
Yeah,
so that's wax on.
Hopefully, my lathe will be fixed.
But we have backup if not.
Yep.
So you guys appreciate what we're doing. We appreciate you coming in to watch us. So one of us, or both of us, will be putting on a demonstration for you. I would be in the workshop most probably anyway, which is one of the reasons I started doing YouTube. Fed up talking to myself, knowing exactly what I was doing and thinking, well, I could actually push this out. And someone said, well, why don't you do YouTube? I don't know, how do you go about it? Oh, you only want a camera, or you can use your phone. Bought a cheap camera, and the first one going back almost 12 months does demonstrate that it was a cheap one. But got the first one out, invested in another camera, got the second one out, and I think I'm about 60 lives in, because I only do lives. I haven't got the intelligence or the want to actually edit a video and edit it and put it up as a short. So I'm a wood turner, not a videographer.
Rob Copperell said he will make a mushroom now, Keith. And then he added, "I'm interested now, thank you," was his second comment.
They're interesting and they sell well. I certainly sell all of mine, and I can go from, I think the smallest one I've got made, and I generally make, is about 2 inches, 1.75 inches, 2 inches, or in Aussie speak, that's about 45 mil. Just lightly taking off the wax that's underneath there. That's clean, come away clean. So all we've got now is to hopefully not destroy the work. It wouldn't be the first time that I didn't quite catch it. That looks quite nice. I'll go back onto the overhead because you can see a little bit more now on that one. Yeah. So let's get rid of those tools. Parting tool, forward, get a little bit closer. Let me turn the volume up, and I'm hoping I'm not going to blind you, but I do need to see down the bottom of that pit. So I'm cutting double the width of the parting tool. So that it doesn't bind, down to about 4mm, wobble on now, 2mm. All safely done. Kill that. You can just see the little pip there, which I can take off with the spindle roughing gouge. I will put these on a sanding pad to sand the bottom, but I won't do that now. So there is the second one.
Oh, excuse me.
You're coughing. Well, I'm in the dust, not you.
Oh no, it's just reached here now.
Okay. There we have a mushroom, a standard mushroom.
Yeah,
there we
nice.
have the first one. It's got a bit of paper stuck to it. I thought I felt something when I took it off. Wax was obviously a little bit soft, but that will get buffed up. So there we have the first one that was turned.
David from Bailey Woodworks has got to go. We've got a work meeting.
Okay, thanks for coming in, David. There we are, guys.
Or Chris. Sorry, have I got that wrong?
Chris,
yes, it's Chris.
Bailey.
It's Chris.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon. Yeah, David is Webfoot. Yep. I'll get it in the end.
You will in the end, yeah. And there's the egg that we've done. So
very nice.
An hour and a half for two mushrooms and an egg. And
quite biggish mushrooms too. So
yeah, I'm not racing. Yep. Wood turning is supposed to be pleasure, so I do it at my speed, not the speed that people want me to crack it off in minus 10 minutes. So let's get.
I think Jigs is just off as well.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate.
Oh, you're gonna have to dash now, yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you guys stopping. Thank you all. What can I say? 3,000 of you watching it still. Nice work, take care, enjoyable live. That's what it is, top job. So I'll put pictures up a bit later on for this afternoon, and I'll be doing the live again tonight. And Andy's waving his about, so let's go on and wave it around.
My little one it is.
That was his practice run.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Just doing it, and that's all I got to show for it, really. Shame, isn't it? Came out well though. It's a nice bit of you.
Yep. So
I had all the inspiration, all my drawings set up over there.
Yeah. Let me come back round to me. So I'm just using 2 cameras today because it was going to be easier than going through the whole lot. And this one we've been using most of today has been on a boom above. So you've been looking at basically what I've been looking at to turn. And I think it worked well. Haven't had any comments that the picture was crap or whatever, so can't be far off.
It was fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah. Andrew's off to work. Have a
Chris
great
Dodd
day,
says.
guys.
Chris Dodd says just call everyone mate. It works in Australia.
Yeah, it does on the building site over here. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm lousy with names. That's why I've got
dreadful.
my own on here, so I can remember who I am.
I even have 1 or 2 eggs I've made.
Oh, you got more than me. Yeah.
Just one or two. I've sold all the nice ones. These are the less interesting ones.
Mm.
Well, not quite nearly. But
So
hey,
egg sale,
they
set of
do. They do.
mushrooms.
If you can get people to pick them up and they feel them and then feel a nice finish, you've half sold it.
I think the most people will come in. Where am I? And the ladies will do. Oh, that's very nice. Is it? Yeah, it's
Mm,
because
mm.
all the ladies that have gone before have done exactly that. Oh, it's very nice.
Yeah.
And then this one, they all do that. I'm not sure why.
Disgraceful. No, I can't imagine.
No,
Uh,
I think that's why it ended up being called the widow's finger. But we have a laugh about it, and hopefully you've enjoyed what I've done. I will be doing part 2 tonight. Andy will be maggoting. I
yep.
have offered him the lathe, but he's got company and can't afford the time before or after to get over and have
Let's
a
be
play on
honest.
this lathe.
I wasn't allowed out to play.
No.
That's it. That's the honest answer. Yeah.
But he's coming out to maggot for me again.
Yeah.
So I will say thank you, one and all. If you've had any questions or if you've got any immediate questions, put them up now. If not, I'm going in for a cup of coffee. As I think hour and a half's a reasonable time to be doing 2 mushrooms and an erg. And
Yep. Jolly good. And we'll see you all soon.
hopefully catch you all tonight. So thank you, one and all. I'm going to hit the off button. So hopefully catch you tonight, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.